Robert J. Conley here. AB, ABT, AB, ABT. Always be AB testing. So you've, even if you're not a marketing professional, if you've been to the eye doctor, you have been AB tested, right? The eye doctor does a thing where he puts the giant thing in front of your face and then flips the lenses back and forth and says, which is better, A, B, A, B. If you're like me, it takes you, you have to ask them to do it a few times. But what is important is that they start from a place and then compare. And if you'll notice a lot of online surveys, a lot of follow-up customer surveys, they are about satisfaction. They're about how the person did. So a lot of surveys are about the performance of individuals and they play a role in people getting bonuses or keeping their job or being compensated. In your life, whether it's, and this is equally effective in your personal life as it is in your business life, but a more effective way to get feedback is to take it from the perspective of the AB approach. And so think of it as A is what is the current circumstance and B is the change in circumstances. And so you just want to constantly be getting your, in business, you want to be constantly getting your clients' feedback in a useful way, not in some of these other ways that, okay, they're fine for bonuses or compensation or whatever, but they're not going to drive product improvement, and they're really not going to drive performance improvement necessarily either. So, excuse me, all right. So when you're trying to fill this hole, what is it you do to improve, to fill this hole that, is basically insufficient information. So, when you think in terms of any situation, if you just give someone a blank slate and say, like, oh, what can we do better? Or, what would you like to eat? What would you like to eat? If you're dealing with an indecisive person, you're going to have a tough time. So open-ended questions have a place, but they don't necessarily keep things within the scope of the doable. And so the first thing to do is to have a mental outlook of taking the ownership of the creativity or of ownership of the frame of the conversation. So for example, I'll use a very mundane example of in day-to-day life, you're trying to decide where to eat with someone else, and you already know like parameters. Well, we only have a half an hour. We only did. And so you immediately can narrow it down to 1, 2, 3 choices. And so sometimes, you can just lay out, if it's multiple choices, then you lay out multiple choices. If the person has trouble deciding, then you go into an A/B routine and you go, okay, if it's not steak, then how about pizza? Oh, neither of those sound good. Okay, how about this? Oh, well, if we have to choose between that and steak, which do you choose? And so you drill down into it. But what the important thing is to do, if you're the business owner, you're a salesperson, if you're in this position where you're trying to get feedback, is to first take that ownership, is to have this frame of mind of, I'm the one who is going to set the alternatives. And and then number 2 is, okay, I can be as creative as I want, but I'm not going to ask if someone wants something ridiculous. I'm going to keep them focused. I'm going to keep the person with whom I'm dealing focused on what's doable. And I will offer alternatives within what's doable. So again, in the business situation, the improvements you have in mind. I mean, the primary reason, number 1, A/B testing is, should we make this change at all? But the overall so should we make this change at all? And then number 2 is, what tangible, results is this change going to make? Is it overwhelmingly going to change things, or is it just kind of a marginal change? So What are the real practicalities of how to go about doing this? What are some of the basic rules of engagement in A/B testing? Number one is change only one thing at a time. If you change more than one thing, you can't measure. You don't know what caused the change. And so, number one is change only one thing at a time. Number two, don't focus on trivial matter. So I'm going to stay. This is in the business. Under the auspices of business, whether it's sales, whether sales marketing, marketing is really where a lot of A/B testing gets done. But to first come from the perspective of where are we losing prospects, where are we losing sales, and that's where you start to tweak and you stay focused on where it really matters, not going and thinking, oh, well, if we, perfect the punctuation on our website, or we whatever, do these trivial things, that will make a difference. No, it's about honing in on things. And some things that can really matter, like in the context of a website, colors matter a lot, and textures, and what the experience is of a person just arriving at your website. And so, focus on those things that can make a shift. So, what's really broken and what really matters. Next is it's relatively easy to have A/B testing turn into a yes/no conversation where all you get is that kind of feedback. And this is where it's valuable whenever you can to do A/B testing in conversation with others, because A/B testing, now you've anchored a conversation, but you now can open it up with you can follow up with more open-ended questions that can then generate more ideas. If you're a business owner, if you're a creative person, you are in constant, I don't need to tell you, you're in constant search of ideas. And so, you use A/B testing to frame the conversation, to get it within the realm of the doable, and to make it, as realistic as possible. But then to also don't shut down conversation. Look at it as a conversation starter and an opportunity for the person with whom you're conversing to share ideas that you may not have thought of in innovations. All right. So the next one is to make sure that you are engaged in conversation or taking feedback from your prototypical customer, from your target customer. Your Aunt Lucy might be a perfectly nice woman, but if she's not in your target market, don't take her feedback. And again, that's, it's a matter of discipline, but it's all, I've seen people do it. So-and-so, had this great idea. Oh, is it getting any positive results? Nope. Well, it wasn't A/B, advice was taken from the non-target. It wasn't A/B tested, and then changes are made. And again, people repeat this. And, as I share this lesson with people, oftentimes I feel like it's very elementary, but like so many things, it's, in fact, I talked about yesterday, the things that are, really simple, but really hard to do. And so it's simple to say, always be A/B testing. It's simple to think of the concept, but then the hard work is always staying engaged in the conversation in that context and looking for the incremental changes you can make that will make a big difference. And it's only in engaging target market that you can do that. So, the last thing I just want to reemphasize in all this is that we need our clients to tell us what they want. But we also need to remember that a lot of times our clients don't know what they want. And so, again, if you just start with, how would you like, I'm not even going to be able to think of an idea right now, but, how would you like a new waterless water container? How would you like this newly designed bat? Whatever, starting out with a blank slate is not the place to start. You're in charge of the creativity. You're in charge of the framing. And so, to have the frame of reference that we're in charge of giving the options of all we're looking for is feedback on our ideas. We're looking for new ideas that fit within our realm of doable and what our mission is about, but we're not looking to go hog wild and all over the place. So be in charge of your creativity, constantly seek feedback, and always be A/B testing. I'm Robert J. Conley. Hope this helped. I'll see you next time.